Easter, Madam Mayor and Council. Jack Froschauer, 11600 Cassel Road, and I'm here speaking against the TID rail project. And I've spoken to you at every council meeting except one during 2015 on the specific ramifications that present serious concerns for the city of Vandalia. We've reached a point where it's time to stop talking and start acting. Residents of Cassel and Old Springfield, they're here tonight. They're sick and tired of wondering what destructive havoc the county has planned for our properties. Since that November announcement, our Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, and Easter holidays have been ruined on account of the ever-present anxiety that this unplanned county idea could cost our ways of life. The county has been deceptive and secretive about the plan. Witness the fact that nobody seems to know what in the world it is. The TID promised to give a summary of comments to residents by the end of February. To date, that follow-up has not been received. In fact, Commissioner Dodge told me that the volume of comments were so overwhelming that it could be June before we even get that final review. I inquired about it with Steve Stanley, the TID director, and he, as a response, sent me a link to the comments received. It should come as no surprise that virtually every submission to the TID is against this unnecessary and reckless project. We don't want the railroad. We don't want acres and acres of woodland torn down. What we do want is for the county to cease and desist. Stop the madness, because we don't want it, and neither should you. If they are so absolute that Vandalia needs more jobs, maybe they, and all of you, should drive through our business district in the Northwoods industrial area. What you'll see are now hiring and help wanted signs at almost every single business. Have these planners taken a look at the cause and effect to our city, or done a thorough cost analysis to logically consider if spending 20 million taxpayer dollars even makes sense when it's obvious that no need even exists? There are a lot of folks here tonight, angry, anxious, and concerned, all because of this unwanted railroad and warehouse idea. Some folks are not comfortable speakers, but by their attendance, they look to you to stand up to the county on their behalf and on behalf of the city. It's time for you, our leaders, to put a stop to this dangerous hostile aggression. We don't want the railroad. We don't want the warehouses. We don't want intrusion on our property rights. We don't want it, and neither should you. This situation began in November, the same time that the college basketball season began. Tonight comes the final game of that college basketball season. Sorry, Darryl. Thousands of games have been played by universities all over our country during those months. Teams won with defense, offense, or both. But not one team won by sitting on the bench with no strategy, just hoping, without even trying. It's time for you to play defense and offense on behalf of the citizens and the city that you're privileged to represent. Get in the game, because we don't want it. We don't want the railroad. We don't want the warehouses. And neither should you.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay.
Any comment from anybody? Okay. Hi there.
Hi, my name is Dennis Fawn. I live at 11510 North Cassel Road. And on behalf of the citizens of Vandalia, the community, business owners, I really feel as though the future of this area and for the city is in jeopardy due to the project that has been proposed, that has been talked about, that has been discussed, but still with no future. And the direct future of that being unknown, I can only guess what it would possibly be like. There's nothing that we've seen other than $3 million to be, well, at least to come up with, to modify and reestablish a railroad spur. This railroad spur being out of operation for 25 years or so, to start that up in the community would only add to the congestion of traffic, which some people may not think that up on Cassel Road in Old Springfield is much of a highly traffic area, but it may not until you throw in rail crossings and railroad. The projection of Cassel Road in Old Springfield to add 2 more to the already existing along the river railroad crossing would really add to the congestion of traffic. And we already deal with the rail crossing on Old Springfield that runs along the river. That in itself can be in excess of 6 or more minutes added to your travel, which there's no other way around. To then back up, prior to getting there, if you were to go east, you would have to cross Cassel or Old Springfield prior to getting there, with a spur that could be in the potential of several cars congesting in their operations of the future that's unknown. We've only heard of phase 1. We've only heard of phase 1 with $3 million to modify and reestablish a rail spur for what? Well, I think the potential of that, as we all as residents and even the council, I'm sure, is also aware that the potential of that in heading west over towards Butler Township, through Butler Township, and into the new properties that have been annexed through Union. For Procter & Gamble, and to add the potential of that on any railway that would come through the Old Springfield and Cassel Road crossroads to get to the main trunk, only draws a picture for me of a community of Vandalia that people will only see as a true nightmare. Now, as council, board, mayor, as we have selected and chosen for your positions, I ask that it's more than a verbal at this time, but more of a heartfelt for the future of the city of Vandalia, that you would represent us as residents, as the citizens, that the future of this does not tell me that there's any good. In developing areas, you've got developers, you've got the community, you've got the customers, you've got the business. I don't see any good of any of these areas, other than maybe someone getting stripes in their portfolio. So I ask you once again, please, on behalf of the citizens and the residents for this area of Cassel and Old Springfield, that you would represent us in being opposed to any further development in the future for this project that has been put before us with the Montgomery County TID. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Hello, my name's Kevin Hare, 5218 Old Springfield Road. Just coming up here to say I'm against opening up the railroad and the warehouses and things like that. I haven't really been keeping up on that a lot, but just like everybody said here, we just want you guys to stand up for us and the families that, you know, live around there, and it takes your guys' voices to do that. If you guys are saying that there is nothing we could do, the city or whatever, if they want to develop, they can do it. but it takes you guys and your power and whatever you've got to get out there and say something for families and people that live around there. You know, I mean, I've got a mother-in-law who lives with me, 78 years old. If ambulance has to come there and has to take her to the hospital, that train's sitting across those tracks. Now where they go? They have to reroute around. And that 4, 5, 6 minutes could be her life. You know, so that's all we're asking. I think everybody's asking. You know, you guys know that it's detrimental to the property values and this and that, just like you've all heard before. I mean, I think everybody's just asking for you guys to stand up for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Debbie Fawn, and my address is 11510 North Cassel. My husband is Dennis, and we live just around the corner from Jack and Reggie. And this is really out of my comfort zone to speak in front of anybody, but I feel that if we don't stand up for our properties and what we feel about our properties, we moved to Vandalia in '08 from Inglewood, right across the road from a beautiful area, wooded area, and now there's going to, if this goes forward, there's going to be tracks coming across Cassel and then Springfield. Every morning on my way to work, I cross those tracks there on Ross Road. And if I don't time it exactly right, I'm sitting there for 5 to 7 minutes on those tracks. Now we could have tracks, 3 sets of tracks within a half a mile radius of our home. I mean, that's just, if any of you live close to that, I'm sure you would be taking a proactive approach to this and trying to stop what is going on and standing up for the citizens of Vandalia. And that's all I'm asking, is that you guys take a proactive approach just like we are and stand up for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Hi, I'm Frank Maloney, 10868 Castle Road. I guess being last, you don't have much to say, but just support the people who followed me or preceded me. And I think there's a lot of information that's been given out, and I think you as members and our leaders need to take a strong position on supporting the people that live in the area that this is going to be happening in. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you all for coming out this evening and once again reinforcing your comments that we have heard. And I know that I have been in contact with some of the, quote, people in charge at Montgomery County, and I know that our city manager has also. So it's not a dead issue, and we continue to work on it. So thank you again for coming out this evening in the rain. Going on then, we have the city manager's report. However, we have no information items, so we go directly to the action items.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, first item we have, again, Council has received an application from Mr. Rick Shear, who's requesting an appointment to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. And Council actually talked to Mr. Shear prior to this evening's meeting in your workshop session.
All right. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move that we appoint Mr. Shear to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board.
Second. It's been moved by Councilman Lewis, second by Vice Mayor Forrest, that we do approve Mr. Rick Shear for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Any comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Brustman?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Oh,
I'm sorry. Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fires?
Yes.
Mayor Stetzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. We have no old business. However, we do have Resolution 15-R-26. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
Resolution 15R26, a resolution expanding the boundaries of the Community Reinvestment Area originally established in Resolution 80R17.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, this resolution would amend the downtown CRA to include the former Morton Middle School site to encourage redevelopment of that property. Community reinvestment areas are areas of land in which property owners can receive tax incentives for investing in real property improvements. And this program does permit municipalities to designate areas where investment has been discouraged as a CRA to encourage revitalization of the existing housing stock or the redevelopment or development of new structures.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve